So what makes social media work? A lot of people that I work with, or either coaching or building websites, often ask about social media, and they want to know if it's important for their business and marketing online or not. And in most cases, I want to say it is, yes, and there's sort of a gray area because for some people it can be a really effective way to get people to know who you are, find you, and discover you. It can really complement your online presence and your credibility. It can connect you with your audience. It can have them sort of feel connected to you, right, on an emotional level, which helps with sales and marketing and getting out there and getting talked about. And at the same time, there's a lot of people that don't really do it well. And by not doing it well, what I'm talking about is having a social media account that's not updated regularly or doesn't have hardly any comments, follows, likes, or anything, no shares, just no responses. And most people don't know what to do with social media. So what I want to talk about in this video is what I see working and the trends that are working. And a lot of this came onto my radar after I read Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. It's a great book where he basically outlines what works on each platform. And I'm just going to show examples from 3 platforms or 4 platforms in this video, just to kind of give you a little bit of insight into what appears to be working. So for instance, we're starting with YouTube, and I pulled up this guy's channel. His name is Matthew Santoro. He's a comedian, and he is getting like millions of views on his videos. If you pull him up on YouTube, you can literally just go to Google and type in Matthew Santoro, or go to YouTube and type in his name. You'll see that his videos have hundreds of thousands, some of them have millions of views. And they're literally just him in his house or his apartment or whatever, shooting a video on his computer, just like I'm shooting a video here. And he then animates it and adds all sorts of kind of like little tricks and video effects. But if you notice in his videos, if you watch any of them, they're very down to earth. They're not necessarily polished and super professional. They're literally just him in his house sitting at his computer. Now he adds in this image here as a thumbnail image for each one of the videos to make it eye-catching and to look attractive, which is one of the key things to make it more attractive to people. But the video themselves are really just him talking at his computer. So one of the trends that I see working a lot in videos is being really down to earth. The less polished and professional with professional lighting and all that, the less you have that, the better videos seem to work, especially when you're just being real. Another example is a guy named Trip. For TripAdvice, I forget what his last name is, but TripAdvice, he's basically a dating guru online. But again, a lot of his videos get like thousands and thousands of views. Notice again, he also has this thumbnail image that has sort of a style to it. So you can upload any image you want to your video to have whatever thumbnail you want. So he has a certain style for his market that he's speaking to, and his videos are just, as you see, just him being a normal guy. So if I play it for a second just to show you.
To approach a girl at a bar. The best text message that you will ever send a girl.
Right, you can see that it's just him talking to a camera, and these are getting thousands and thousands of views, right? So it's this authenticity and this layer of sort of congruency and the ability to connect with your audience in a very real way without being super polished and professional and fake, basically. People like that, whether you're one person selling your dating advice, whether you're one person being a comedian, or whether you're a corporation and a business. In fact, the more a business can be personable and authentic and real, the better. So let's take a look at Gary Vaynerchuk on LinkedIn. He's the guy that wrote Jab, 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 Right Hook. This is his LinkedIn page. He has 262,000 followers, right? That's not too bad. And if you'll notice, his posts, all of his posts are very valuable posts. His posts and updates are usually tips or discussions or something that really contributes to the conversation that his particular audience is having. So he's writing stuff that's very valuable to his audience. He's giving tips, like 5 apps you need to investigate, what the hell is Yahoo Finance thinking, best advice, he's giving all sorts of interesting topics that he's posting about with an interesting photo with each one so that it looks attractive. and it's information that his audience is interested in. Now notice he's not posting every single day. He's usually getting about one a week, and sometimes he gets down as much as like only 2 or 3 a month. But pretty consistently he's about one a week, if you'll notice the dates on these things. So about once a week he's making a post of something that's relevant to his audience. In April he only had one post, right? In May he just had 2 so far. He's had June, he's had 1, right? So it's not like he's posting all the time, and that happens to be this particular platform. LinkedIn, you don't need to be, at least looking at this, you don't need to be quite as active as, say, like Twitter or YouTube, but always posting things that are interesting to his audience, discussion topics and tips, articles, things like that. Now, if we look over at Twitter, this happens to be a very popular Twitter account. This is the Philosophy. The Twitter handle is Funny or Truth, and they have 2.68 million followers, and they're only following 99 people, or only following 99 Twitter accounts. And if you'll notice, the tweets, a lot of them it's just really like it's just images with a quote on it, right? Now they're basically posting every hour. And because they're every hour, I would imagine they're scheduling these out. They probably sit down on like one day a week or a couple days a week and probably schedule out all of their updates, right? And this particular Twitter person is just basically posting images because that's what their style is. It doesn't mean that that's what's going to work for you. It just means that's what the style is for this particular person and their particular audience. That's what seems to work, so they keep posting, images because that's what works with their audience. So you may or may not use images on Twitter, but what I'm showing you is just the fact that they know their audience and they have a particular style that attracts their audience, and this particular style is what draws people to them. So whatever your style is, you might want to try to define a certain style. Maybe it's a certain color scheme that you use. Maybe it's certain fonts that you always use. Maybe it's a certain sort of level of comedy that you incorporate in your posts and updates. Maybe it's vulnerability or something that you bring to your posts that kind of gives you a certain sort of brand or style. The more you can do that, the more you start to develop a character on your particular social media platform. And you might find, and very likely you will find, that not every social media platform is accurate or the one that's going to work best for you. You want to go to the platform that's easy for you, and mostly you want to go for the platform that your audience is on. If your audience is not on Twitter, don't use Twitter. It's just a waste of your time. If your audience is on YouTube, which most of the time I would say YouTube's going to be your best bet because it's the #2 search engine right now. So having a YouTube channel is a great way to find people of all types. Now finally we'll look at Facebook. For instance, I picked a celebrity here. This happens to be the singer-songwriter Taylor Swift. She's got 64 million likes, 2 million people talking about it. And you can see she's clearly not posting here on everything. I would guess that she's maybe not posting any of this. Maybe she has an assistant doing that. But like here, it sounds like her, whether it's her or not, or her assistant, who knows. But she sounds kind of authentic. It's a way she's connecting with her audience. Sure, she's a huge celebrity, but it goes to say that if you're a corporation or a company or you're someone that's just starting out, you want to connect with your audience. It's kind of like having a conversation with your audience. She has a conversation with her audience, right? And so they feel like they know her based on kind of the character that she has here. So I advise you to kind of look at some Facebook pages that are most popular. I went and Googled Facebook page with most likes, and then I go and search the top Facebook pages for the month so I can start to see what's working on Facebook, what works on Twitter, what works on LinkedIn. You could go and Google Twitter account with the most likes, and you'll find, I think it's twittercounter.com, and it'll show you the accounts that have the most followers. You can start to see what works, and I would advise going to follow them and just see what kind of conversation they have and how they communicate to their particular audience on the platform of their choice. And then I would invite you to look at what platform your audience lives in and start to play in that platform and try out having a certain style. See if images work. See if your own posts work. See if links to articles work. Whatever it is, it's a contribution to the conversation that people want to share. If you post stuff that's just about you or just, about your latest updates or whatever, people don't want to share that because it's like sharing a commercial. So you want to post stuff that people want to share. That's the number one thing with social media, is make it shareable. So if you're posting on Facebook, you want to have it so it's shareable. I mean, Taylor Swift has, 24,000 shares here, right? Where it's just her and this video, right? But people want to share that because they feel intimate with Taylor Swift, right? So making your content shareable that people want to pass around is a big deal. And the more you look professional and like a commercial, the less people are going to want to share it. So that's just my 2 cents. If you have comments or what's worked for you with social media or questions, leave a comment below, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.